Reflecting on the past year has again served to remind me that we work in an ever-changing environment, highlighting the importance of continual alignment of our programs to the needs of our beneficiaries. As per introduction, I'm Johanna Strauss, the manager of Durbanville Children's Home. It gives me great pleasure to share the content of my report with you. We strategically evaluated our bridging program during 2022, and it became clear that we needed to add components to the program in order to make it more effective and holistic. Leaving a children's home is extremely stressful for a young adult. In the words of Helen Williams, a social worker at Durbanville Children's Home, imagine knowing that you are about to be discharged from the place you have called home for most of your childhood. Imagine you are about to turn 18 and are finishing school. Imagine the questions going through your mind. How will I cope? Where will I live? Will I be able to get a job or study? Imagine being aware that the chances of succeeding are statistically stacked against you. Imagine the fear you are feeling. You are after all a child who grew up in a children's home. We want to utilize this critical window of opportunity to equip and prepare our young people, setting them up to be independent, functional young adults who are able to contribute positively to the society in which they are transitioning. We have implemented a bridging program with the following 5 objectives. Our first objective is to teach young adults aged 15 to 17 years relevant life skills on site. Lack of role models, low self-esteem, developmental delays and traumatic experiences has deprived our children of life skills that are on par with their peers. Our second objective is to accommodate young adults in their final year at Durbanville Children's Home in a house in the community, teaching them to live independently. Currently facilitated at House Andrag in Kraaifontein, the focus of this daily program is on independent living. Our third objective is teach work readiness skills and practical work skills within a structured program. Some of our children drop out of school due to gaps in their schooling prior to admission, motivation or feeling that they cannot keep up with the academic requirements. We have implemented a skills program as part of our daily program. This focuses on work performance and readiness, equipping our young people with the skills to find employment in the community. Our fourth objective is to accommodate and support students financially to study further at tertiary education. And our last objective is to support school leavers whilst finding employment. We know all too well that if children are not assisted to make a successful transition, the probability of them ending up on streets where they are exposed to drug abuse, gang violence, poverty, crime, etc. will increase, continuing the cycle of learned behavior into their adulthood, such as abuse and neglect towards their own children. We aim to facilitate them into becoming contributing, confidential, functional young adults, breaking the cycle for generations to come. Since we are celebrating and commemorating 140 years of care in 2023, I find peace in the knowledge that our programs have been and will continue to be adapted and molded through years of experience to best suit the needs of our children. I'm blessed with a knowledgeable board, excellent managers and staff coupled with dedicated volunteers and generous donors. This makes us a formidable team. I'm looking forward to the year ahead with the vision of creating nurturing living conditions for 144 vulnerable children to ensure that they are protected and supported so they can have the best chance in life.
Good day, I am Gerald Davids and I am the chairperson of the board at the Durbanville Children's Home. It is once again a huge honor and a privilege to, on behalf of the Durbanville Children's Home, report on another successful year. After 2 very challenging years due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are proud that we could manage and execute all our activities without compromising the care and stability at the Durbanville Children's Home. In this respect, the manager of the Children's Home deserves credit for her visionary and inspirational leadership, sometimes under very trying and turbulent circumstances. This report will reflect on the accomplishments, highlights, as well as the challenges of the past year. It is only fitting to first mention our milestone achievement and biggest highlight, namely the celebration of 140 years of existence of the Durbanville Children's Home. What began as a dream, a solution to an identifiable need by two Sunday school teachers, Elizabeth de Wet and Lizzie White, is still going strong 140 years later. They were two pioneers who in 1883 saw a need to care for vulnerable children and intended to make a difference. This noble initiative culminated in the formal establishment of our childcare facility in October 1883. Today we are proudly continuing this legacy. Due to changing needs, the facility had to be expanded, which led to the establishment of a larger facility at our current premises at Durbanville in September 1918. The Androck Family Trust donated a satellite house for the children's home. This year, we have implemented a bridging program at Huis Androck. It is aimed at preparing our school leavers and those aging out of care, turning 18, with much needed skills to face the world when they leave our care. For this reason, we afford them the opportunity to live independently in the community for a year to develop into more self-reliant individuals. We are blessed to have a loyal staff component as well as local and international volunteers. Our organization have constantly devised plans to develop our staff into an effective and reliable workforce that can contribute to a caring environment for our children. One of our great accomplishments was the designing and successful implementation of a new code of conduct, of which everyone at the Durbanville Children's Home took ownership. The past year, we were again fortunate and blessed to attract very generous donors who got involved with improving the living conditions of children at the Children's Home. With their contributions and assistance, we were able to start revamping our 12 housing units on site. Our children have proven to be overcomers of challenges, and with the necessary support, we have seen many of them develop and grow. Some have excelled in sport, obtaining Western Province colours. Some are prefects at their schools, while others succeed academically. It is equally rewarding to hear a child laugh and see them smile, where previously they could not look you in the eye, were withdrawn and concealed their emotions. I need to emphasize that we are grateful for the role that our extended network in the form of community members, outreach programs, churches, schools and caring individuals are playing to contribute to the success and physical and spiritual well-being of all our children. Despite our best efforts, we have a number of children who, due to trauma, find it difficult to function with a regulated, homely environment and to test the boundaries and rules within our facility. This means that they don't always benefit from our program and they adversely influence the care we render to the rest of our children. We do, however, address these challenges with our various therapeutic interventions. Due to escalating socio-economic changes in the wider society, we are required to accommodate more and more children with deviant behavior that are better suited to be cared for in a level 3 facility that can deal with children with high-risk behavior. With our limited resources, we do not have the capacity to optimally care for them at the Children's Home, which is a level 2 facility. This means that many of our efforts are focused on managing difficult behavior, which contributes to staff burnout. Despite these challenges, we are pleased to report that all our child workers have been instructed to attend courses to obtain the required qualifications as prescribed by the Social Service Professionals Act. They, together with our strong team of social workers, are now in a better position to counter some of these challenges. Some of our newly admitted children have not been attending school due to the traumatic circumstances from which they were removed. This means that they are too old for the last grade they passed, and getting them back into a school system is a major challenge because of the barriers for learning that they present. In line with our vision of rendering quality care, we have embarked on the implementation of innovative programs to try to get the above-mentioned children in some state of readiness for formal schooling. One of these innovative programs to support these children is a newly formed site-based learning support project driven by a qualified teacher, assisted by volunteers. I am thankful that I am supported by a strong, dedicated and competent board, and want to use this opportunity to thank the Durbanville Children's Home management team and staff for their unselfish dedication to the children and the organization. You are truly remarkable. I am looking forward to another successful and prosperous new financial year with many blessings for our institution. May we continue to go from strength to strength whilst providing the same exemplary care to all our children. Thank you.
Good day, my name is George Adams and I'm the Chairman of the Financial Committee for the Children's Home. It's my privilege to give you a summary of the financial results for the year ended 31 March 2023. It was a good financial year. The total income for the year was 25 million compared to just under 21 million the year before. This represents a 19% increase. On the expenses side, the total expenses incurred was 23.2 million, which represents a 12% increase year on year. The end result was a net surplus for the year of 1.7 million, which is a significant increase of the year before when we had a 163,000 surplus. We managed to put away the majority of the funds in reserves. The reserves at the 31 March 2023 was 18 million compared to 16.3 million the year before. This is enough to carry the orphanage's expenses for about 9 months, so we managed to have that buffer. Our target would be for 12 months, but 9 months is good, and we maintained that from the year before. If we would break down the income into categories, the total income for the year of 25 million consisted of 45% donations. Donation income was 11.3 million, which was a 22% increase from the year before, which we're very grateful for. The second largest income source was state subsidiary income of 6.8 million, which was a 3% increase from the year before. And this represents 27% of our total income. The third largest portion of income was from fundraising events, 3.7 million compared to 1.2 million the year before, and that represents 15% of the total income. The other sources of income were pretty much consistent with the year before. That consisted of investment income, interest received from the banks, as well as product sales from the charity shop, second-hand bookstore, etc. The total expenses for the year were 23.2 million. The biggest portion of the expenses were salaries of 11.7 million. This represented a 1% increase from the year before. Even though the salary increases were 7%, there were some vacancies that were not filled for a while. The second largest expense type was food and household expenses, mostly consumables, of 3.5 million. This represented about 15% of our total expenses, and salaries represented 51% of our total expenses. The third largest portion of expenses we incurred were building maintenance and municipal services of 3.3 million, which was a 10% increase from the year before. Our fourth largest expense type was fundraising costs of 2.1 million, which was necessary in order to raise the fundraising income. And the rest of the expenses, like transport, office expenses, tertiary education, etc., were more or less the same as the year before. So overall, we had a good year, and considering that this year should be more or less the same, hopefully, as the last year. Thank you very much for everyone that contributed to the financial success of the orphanage. And if there are any further questions that you'd like to ask us, you're welcome to email us at finance@dchome.org.za. Thank you.